Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Brittany, and today we're exploring why people have threesome fantasies. The aspect of jumping from 2 to 3 is actually quite interesting because we're no longer in a monogamous psychological playground, but we're in a polyamorous play state. And consenting to this very specific fantasy, it's actually quite common. A study was done by Justin Lehmiller in 2014, it started, and it ended in 2018. He's a social psychologist and sex researcher who did a study on American citizens, 4,175 participants ranging from ages 18 to 87. Come to find out that threesomes were the most commonly mentioned sexual fantasy. He asked why, and people responded. Just one of the responses that they wanted to be center of attention. Now, obviously, men had a very specific dynamic with 2 women. Women felt really comfortable being with women, which makes sense, but also with 2 men. And given someone's personal history, it all makes sense. Everything makes sense. We don't have to shame any of it. So when we look at the threesome as a fantasy, I actually want to introduce a very different perspective as we look at this symbolically. I kind of want to give you homework as we continuously meet through the fantasy series where you're working internally, you're getting to know more of yourself, you're understanding your relationship to external psychological and energetic forces. So let's bring up the fantasy that you personally have. If you feel safe doing so, bring this up. It's you and 2 other people. What do these other people represent? Firstly, look at their personality. Second, look at your associations to them. In other words, when you bring up this person, whether you know them or not, if you can just allow a list of words to come to your mind, to come to your heart, and in this, you're kind of receiving more meaning around the fantasy. Now, in the play space, where are you? What is it that you're doing? What is it that they're doing? Again, you need to be an active participant in this play space to understand the symbolism behind it, because I can only do so much for you. So, as I bring forward a little bit more of my take on this, I'm going to introduce a concept in Jungian psychology, a concept called the quaternity or the fourth fold. Now, when there are 3 people involved in a very mysterious and playful escapade, there's so much stimulation, there's so much going on, there's an essence that the ego wants to be seen so badly, wants to be worshipped, it wants to be the center of attention, that it's kind of craving and longing for 2 other energies. And as the 3 dance together, a fourth comes to form. Now, it may not actually take form in, another person for it to being a group experience, but you may just feel an energy within your fantasy, which is so different. It's something that you haven't experienced. And this is where I consider it kind of curious that we're moving from monogamy to polyamory to something that is non-monogamous, which means that we're moving away from tradition. Whether that means that you're integrating the previous tradition ideologies and principles, or whether this means that you are completely denying them, you're stepping away from old ways. You're trying to move into something that's so different, that's so foreign, that you need to have 2 other players. And I mean, again, as we look at this symbolically speaking, it's so much more than just the play space or the erotic experience or the arousal. It has everything to do with these 2 forces and you trying to transform and create a play space that is supposed to be alchemical for something else to kind of take over. So in Jungian psychology, the quaternity is the number 4, and that is a association to wholeness and essentially the individuation process. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, simply look this up. I'm not here in this video to try and give you an entire analytic explanation of Jungian psychology. I'm just sharing concepts that are related to the threesome fantasy. So if this fantasy is taken symbolically, then we can see that each person is a representation of a very specific thing that your soul or that your higher self is trying to integrate and assimilate. So when you look at those personality traits, when you look at the environment, when you look at all that is here, what we're trying to do is kind of dilute the fantasy so it's not so intensified and hot and heavy. Your nervous system isn't so obsessive with it, but we can essentially allow those to be inspirational states that we can work with to know more of who we are. Now, as we bring forth the fourth energy and the dance of all of you guys together, there's something that essentially your ego, which is wanting to be the center of attention, is trying to fulfill or trying to be filled by. So again, I don't know your dynamic. If maybe you are the one who is being the full receptive unit, or maybe you're the one who is controlling and demanding everything. I feel like that's just the beginning, and there's something so much bigger that's supposed to unfold. But if you just allow your mind to continue to kind of play in the space while also being objective and dancing away from the play so that you're not so consumed by it, you may just get such a profound insight you didn't know you really needed. So I'm not sure if this video made complete sense for you or not, but as I've done a lot of research, as I've connected with many different clients, it seems that threesomes are more than just the menage a trois and the romantic escape from monogamy, but it's just trying to share that there is more than tradition which your soul is craving. What is that? I don't know. Leave it in the comments below. How did you experience this video? What do you think about threesomes? And I will see you in the next video.